that, I want to bring up Don King.
Thank you. First, let me say, charity starts at home and spreads abroad. And I want to thank the Gateway, the Sheraton Gateway, Christina Preciado, Michelle Acosta, and Abby Fernandez for their gracious help in making this event an event here at this great hotel. But working together works, and they have really done a tremendous job in welcoming us and giving us the hospitality, that they graciously extends to everyone, but it was kind of special for us. So thank you, Sheraton Gateway, and Christina, and Michelle, and Abby. So don't forget that. Those are great people for Sheraton. They do Sheraton proud. Secondly, this event is a spiritual event. As you have heard, without me going into a long dissertation, every indication here shows this is an event of destiny. So when you're dealing with the spirits and you're dealing with God, you have to be able to understand this is going to be a tremendously exciting event, but it's going to be an historical event for HBO. And I'm very happy and proud that Peter Nelson has the opportunity to be the host here in disseminating this event around the world. And fighting for women's rights. Well, I'm a staunch fighter for women's rights, and the young lady in the audience here today was the president of the Women's Network and an ardent fighter for women's rights. And I'd like you to introduce her to you. Her day is her birthday. Happy birthday, Michelle Patterson, president of Women's Rights. Stand up and let them know you are. These are the things that are indicative of what Cecilia and all of the different women that are here that are tremendous. And they all say, what do you think about women's boxing? I say, I think about women's rights. You know what I mean? Because it's their choice to be, whether they want to be a boxer or they want to be a movie star, a lover, whatever they are. You know what I mean? That's their choice. And they, like people of color, have been enslaved, what they call concentric slavery, without rights. And so this is something that we all are fighting for, but it's great to see women that will stand up and fight for their rights in the manner that they do. And I think that that's what they should do, because without them, none of us would be here. And so this is what you must understand, where it begins at. And so here we are now talking about a young man and the destiny of these different things that are transpiring. And it's remarkable how Tom Loeffler and Peter Nelson and all of them put this event together. That's why I say it is destiny in making whole. You cannot knock a fighter like Golovkin. Triple G is a sensational fighter. He's the best in his league. We have a nice array of belts here. You cannot, by any stretch of the imagination, come in and denigrate him. But I learned from the master, the pro himself. He said, they float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. So you got to be able to deal with that with Muhammad Ali. And he told me that no matter how great you are as a fighter, to be a whole human being and to be able to establish that type of stature, you have to lose. He says, so losing is winning when you are a fighter for the people and you have faith in God. So I don't know. You're going to be the judge, because everything that's indicative of this fight taking place is because Triple G had the steadfast desire to fight on Cinco de Mayo. Well, me being born in Texcoco, in Mexico, I have to say that Cinco de Mayo is a destiny day, that we all celebrate. They named the stadium after me in Texcoco. But, coming from the days of Hidalgo, when he said Mexicanos, that's the Independence Day that's coming up in September. Mexicanos, viva Mexico. Viva Mexico. And then you have the guys that were fighting for the people. Emiliano Zapata, Pancho Villa, you know what I mean, was fighting for the people, the small people that was there, the masses. Well, you have to put all these indicative spiritual things together. And to make it what it's supposed to be, sacrificial people, like the young man that come from Paris. In Paris, he gave his life for the victims that they were holding, the terrorists were holding. And he said, take me and let them go. And they did that. So the terrorists let the people go. They kept their part of the bargain, and they killed the police officer who gave his life. That's truly giving your life for your friend. John 15:13. You know, no greater love than one would lay down his life for one's friends. So you got to understand this whole event here, of me being here, standing here, and I'm very honored to be working with Tom Loeffler, and I'm great to be back home again at HBO just momentarily. Hopefully Peter will see the light, you know what I mean? And we'll be able to deal with it. But it's something else that people don't understand, and before I give this, pull this all together, you see these two little flags right here? These little flags here is the destiny of the world coming up when they have the most disparaged president in the history of American history, will be the tongue. And if you look at 18:21 in the Proverbs, say the tongue is the death of life. Death or life, you know what I mean? So you got it coming right up here with Donald Trump. We'll be talking to Kim Jong-un. But I established with the Korean people, no East Korea, no West Korea, no North Korea, no South Korea, one Korea. Yeah. One Korea. Yeah. All right, so we want to be able to have all of these things, all of these destiny things here, and they're coming in a Korean delegation. We'll all be talking. Brings us to Armenia. Why I'm here. Armenia. America, Armenia. You know, I want you to understand something. You're going to be the judge. All of the spiritual things that everyone has come up has been talking about two things that have been difficult for people to comprehend. One is the woman, first and foremost, because without any of us or wherever us would be, we could not be here without that woman. Yet we treat her with disdain, disrespect, and say she's frivolous, she can't make a decision, yet she made a decision to bring you here and to take care of you, and I mean, the way you can come up to be what you are and what you can be if you have the faith in God to be what you want to be. All right? Then you have an opportunity to deal with what is real in life, which makes this country great in its words. One land, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. These are the self-evident truths, but we live and practice this self-evident lie. You know, and why they say that I would support this guy that I'm wearing on my coat here, Donald Trump, it ain't. You see, it is not about Donald Trump, it's about what he brings out. He's bringing out the truth. No matter whether you like him or dislike him, it has nothing to do with it. You're having discussions that you would never had. You're finding out things that you would have never known. You're having resignations, confessions. You know what I mean? You're having indictments, everything that yet they ain't got him yet, but we on the trail. We're close to it. We working at it. We're working at it. You know what I mean? I've never seen it like this here with the most brilliant minds in the world, Interpol, CIA, intelligence. You know what I mean? Everybody's there working, and the FBI, but nobody can find nothing. But they're working on it. We're getting close to it. We're getting close. You know what I mean? With the brilliant minds in the world. You know what I mean? So it shows you how ridiculous it is that Satan is at work. And so when you have an historical, God-given event, you will be the judge, because what this young man, Vanis, comes in, I want you to hear this now. Vanis was made the mandatory challenger by the WBC. The WBC is like home to me with my dear brother who's passed now, Jose Suleiman Chagnon, but his spirit lives live. Safety first and for the boxer, and fair play for the boxer. All right, fair play. Vanis stood up for everything that the WBC represented. And then Ishii Smith pulls out after 6 months of negotiation, and the fight gets set, gets a date, everything is ready, Ishii Smith pulls out. Now, the rule of the WBC says that a man that's in a mandatory position cannot fight because he will lose his mandatory position. So that means that 6, 7, 8 months, Vanis had he stayed. I asked the WBC to give him the winner by default. They said, well, no, we can't do that. So they opted to appoint another mandatory challenger. Meantime, Vanis is borrowing money, getting himself deeply indebted, and also at the same time, working without training, without fighting. The WBC, in their inimitable wisdom, I should say, appointed Selecki. He appointed Selecki to be the mandatory challenger. So we then flew to Mexico. We put up a bid. I put up $22,000 in the process of getting Vanis this opportunity again to fight for the WBC belt, that green belt, the most heralded belt in the sport of boxing. And after we pulled it all together, Satan jumped into the pack again, whispered into Selecki's, my manager, Greg Leon. He broke his word. And, Margolis, not Greg Leon. Stop. Greg Leon Margolis, Leon Margolis. That's with Warrior Boxing. He shattered his word. He defected. And, but that left Vanis another 6 months of working and getting prepared for a fight that was non-existent. All right? So now, thank God for my son, my hijo, Mauricio Suleiman. And so he fights to get Vanis the opportunity to fight one of the greatest boxers in the world, Triple G. Now, all of these things that happen, destiny, all these events that you hear Tom Loeffler and you hear Peter Nelson and all of them sticking together, they don't even know why themselves. This was a fight that was set to happen with Canelo, Cinco de Mayo. Canelo had a draw with him. Canelo coming back to be able to fight, to demonstrate, that Mexicans come to fight. They don't give in, they don't give up, and they don't quit. And Canelo eats some contaminated meat, so he says. And that means he has to withdraw. He withdraws from the fight. All of these things are just indicative of the history that you guys are going to be able to witness on Cinco de Mayo. Now, here Vanis is sitting here now, a man from Armenia, and Armenians stick together. Armenians come to fight. My best friend was an Armenian, and Kirk Kerkorian, and his spirit is standing here with me now. So when you say Armenia, you ain't just seeing something that's happenstance. It's tied here with America. You're going to see destiny take its place on Saturday night with this great fighter, how you say it? Gennady Golovkin? Yes, from Kazakhstan? Well, the spirits of Kazakhstan is showering down on us now, and the inimitable words of Muhammad Ali says you have to lose to be a whole champion. So there's no disgrace in losing. If you come back, you get knocked down, you get back up, you dust yourself off and get back into the game. That's what counts. That's got to be demonstrative to anybody. Don't just give in and give up and quit and feel sorry for yourself. You go out there and you change the game. Then you are a whole champion. When you come back, you are undefeatable because you have demonstrated that the psychological effect of what the pertinent things of what people think, just what you talk about, your peers, it don't mean nothing if you ain't got that heart and that mind and intestinal fortitude to say, I can, I will, I must, and it's going to be done. And so this may be the opportunity that Vanis has been waiting on, because yesterday's nobody becomes tomorrow's somebody. And I want you all to know that this is a historic fight. It's a spiritual event. It is not an event of the norm. And so you're going to see history in the making here. And when you see the championship transfer, it ain't going to be because it's bad. It's going to be because it's good for Golovkin. It gives him an opportunity to understand what it is to lose. You know what I mean? That makes him bigger. It makes him better. That gives him that type of intestinal fortitude that no one can deny. And I promise you, Golovkin, we will give you a return match. It's not going to be where you're going to have an opportunity where you're going to be knocked down and discarded. No. No fair play for the boxer, safety for the boxer. you have an opportunity to become bigger than ever. Show them what you can do in losing. We know what you can do in winning. We know what you can do in winning. Ain't no question about that. You triple G, got more belts than anybody. You know what I mean? You triple G. So now let us see how you can win with somebody that gets knocked down for the guy that's on the corner that just lost his job, feeling sorry for himself. The man who had a virus, a cold, he can't seem to get up and go get it. However it'll be. Show us to be a champion of the losers. Then you become a whole goddamn fighter. You know what I mean? A whole fighter. The Armenian named Vanis is going to make history right here before your eyes. I want you all to stop, take a pause, and realize that this man hasn't had the opportunity to fight. God gives him the strength. God gives him the motivation. God gives him the desire to recognize and realize and appreciate you, the fans. That's who he's fighting for. He's fighting for the people, for his fathers out there in the audience. Oh, Papa, you're going to be all right. It's been a long, hard fight. It's been a struggle. There's been a lot of hardships, but it's going to be all right. Vanis is going to bring it home, but it's going to be done because this great fighter named Golovkin will demonstrate how great he is, demonstrating how you can come back after you've lost rather than not being able to always win another time. You don't know what's going to happen if you ever stumble. So now the stumbling is going to happen on Saturday night, Cinco de Mayo, and he will be reborn again. That's what you call, redemption, coming back, conversion. And so I just want you to know that this is a destiny fight with the beautiful women here that's fighting. Everybody here done said the same thing. All these different spiritual indications demonstrates what it's going to be when we raise the hand of Vanis here as the new champion of the world. And I want you all to meet and greet this young man because he has the courage of a lion. You know what I mean? And he has the heart and the strength, those that will be less than none. He didn't come here to be a Fig Newton for ain't no cookie there for Golovkin to eat now. Golovkin wanted a fight. He's going to get a fight because I think this is his fight for his most natural growth in his whole entire career. This will be the fight to demonstrate that he can lose and still be the greatest champion in the world. And so I want you to know, Tom, I thank you so very much. And I would be unappreciative if I didn't say that Tom Lawford is not only a great promoter, he's destined for greatness, but he picked beautiful senoritas, that inspires everybody, you know what I mean? Yes, you know what I mean? So they are just wonderful. They're muy guapa, you know what I mean? It's fantastical, you know what I mean? And they inspire me. When I get tired, I say, I got to quit now. You've been talking a long time. The energy from them just invigorates me. You know what I mean? That youth, thanks for the memories. Oh, how it used to be. You know what I mean? So with that, you got a great fight here that's going to happen. You got a fight that you got a president that no one gave a chance at all to win. The Republicans didn't want him. The Democrats didn't want him. You know what I mean? What they call the super PACs didn't want him. All the special interest groups didn't want him. The only one that wanted him was the will of the people and their prayers to God, and he answered their prayers. With him being in interposition, he became president. The only thing that will change this scenario is not a knockdown or a put down to this great fighter sitting on my right. It's just destiny to really make him grow because we don't know what he could do if he loses. And we need to know that because we need to know when everything is going one way, you never know what it is when you stumble and them go another way. We want to know we got a real whole champion. And I think that Cinco de Mayo will prove just that. So when you say Vanis, it's history, it's destiny. And Vanis, I want you to come up here and tell these people what you're going to do, why you're fighting for the cause of the people. And we have a great staff member with how you say your name? Edmund. Edmund is right there. Edmund is right there with Vanis. He does everything but take the blows, but he feels the pain. You know what I mean? So Edmund and Vanis is here, but I want Vanis to give you his heartfelt joy and thankfulness for Peter Nelson and Tom Lawford that God gave the history and gave us opportunity because this was some kind of nightmare. This fight, if everyone you've heard testify before I even got here, everyone has shared how the difficulty in this fight is still going on Cinco de Mayo, is only because of the steadfast perseverance of those who were in control or in power to make it happen. So this is a destiny fight, a God-given fight, and the Spirit of the Lord is at work. Vantage Matriarchal, come on, Vantage, come on. In the new